afternoon. Dear SIGA members and supporters, ladies and gentlemen, I also would like to greet Alexandre, who's on the other side. And thank you very much for the kind invitation to deliver my testimonial at the occasion of the 22 SIGA Sport Integrity Week. It is really for me a pleasure and an honor to be addressing you, albeit remotely, and sending my greetings here from Brussels. I would just like to convey a special word of recognition and praise to SIGA CEO, my friend Emmanuel, and his team, excellent team, by the way, for keeping this event at such a high quality level. It is fair to say that the annual SIGA Sport Integrity Weeks, now running the third edition, became in the meanwhile a landmark forum in the field of sports integrity. I would like to dedicate the opportunity of this brief testimonial to address the issue of governance standards and sound practices. I believe both are essential to safeguard integrity in sport. Through SIGA Independent Rating and Verification System, called SIRVS, SIGA has developed a set of solid governance standards. Let me just highlight a few. The standards set benchmarks on the highest levels of transparency, integrity, and accountability, as well as stakeholder representation that governing structures of sport bodies should meet. The standards also tackle the independence of members of governing bodies and foresee independent nominating committees on due diligence to ensure highly qualified leadership. On internal control, the standards address independent monitoring and auditing of all key reforms and the day-to-day running of sports organization, and aim at building capacity in financial integrity throughout associations, clubs, and other organizations, so as to ensure that the basic principles of auditing and transparent accounting are employed at all levels. By the way, the production of formal and officially audited financial reports and publicly disclosed after approval is a basic tenet of good governance. However, standards per se may not prove sufficiently effective if they are not underpinned by behavioral commitment. Indeed, the traits and assumptions which shape behaviors in the moments that matter is of the essence. While some of these behavioral drivers are positive and should be actively reinforced, many others may need intervention and change. The cultural drive can provide a bridge for addressing integrity. Getting the right culture can strengthen reputation and translate in a set of sound practices. This will give confidence to sport actors that they are doing the right things and not only the things right. Throughout my experience of more than 20 years in financial regulation and supervision, I have seen that the change in culture and conduct of financial institutions has been essential to repair or improve governance. My perception is that sport also needs to engage in cultural change to secure integrity. Cultural change, if appropriately undertaken and tailored according to the dimension, complexity, and nature of sports organizations can be a major driver for improving governance. I reckon that cultural change must begin and come from the top. Making serious efforts to set the right tone from the top is paramount. This should be a driver for action of governments, federations, associations, and clubs. The tone from the top is critically important to ensure that the abidance to standards of sound governance cascades throughout the different layers of sports. Ladies and gentlemen, the many cases of illicit behaviors and scandals which have been pervading the world of sport stand there to show the urgency of acting pursuant to sound governance. For me, governance and cultural change are crucial areas requiring prompt and resolute action to ultimately safeguard integrity and ensure that sport continues leading by example as a repository of the values of fair and skilled competition. I trust that the splendid building which is hosting this year's event, combining academic savvy and the magnificent sea landscape, and I can only envy you for being there, will be inspirational for the many participants to strengthen SIGA's contribution to sport integrity. Thank you very much.